as a company. Adam, let me turn it over to you. People are anxious to meet you.
Okay. Can you hear me? I just unmuted myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay. Well, thanks, Bob. Appreciate your support of Well Step by Step. And yeah, we've been in business now for about 3.5 years. Started on February 19th, 2021. And we've actually gone through a lot of changes over the last, the first 2.5 years. We had 3 matrices, and we kept sort of discussing the pay plan, and I think the pay plan has really been fine-tuned now to really kind of just really highly polished pay plan. 3x7, $28 plus $2 tax for Uncle Sam, and $3 a level, except level 2, you get paid $7. Thanks to Lawrence, that was his idea. And I'm just really happy with the pay plan. We pay out 89.7% or something like that, and the legal limit is 90%. So we are right at the legal limit, just under it, in fact, to pay out the most money to the distributors as possible. And that's really the number one goal of Well Step by Step, as far as I was concerned, was to pay out as much money to the distributors as possible, because the distributors are the stars. They're the stars of the company. They're the heroes of the company. They do all the work, and they should get paid the most. They should get paid the best. And the whole reason I started Well Step by Step was because I could never find a MLM company that paid very much. And I remember I found one company that paid about $2 a person, and I thought to myself, and that was the highest that I could find, was about $2 a person. But you had to buy a lot of product, like a couple $100 worth of product, and and it was just really high. And I was always, ever since about 1988, when I first got interested, I was 21 years old in 1988, and I got interested in multi-level marketing, and I used to study the pay plans and everything. And in the 1990s, things were simpler back then. You saw a lot of unilevels, a lot of force matrices, a lot of 3x10 force matrices were very common. And in the 1990s, you could always kind of figure out your paycheck. If you had, for example, 100 people in there, you could kind of figure out how much money you were going to make. And the darndest thing happened around the year 2000. That's when 7 ways to get paid started to get really popular. 7 ways to get paid. And as you all know, you cannot make heads or tails of your paycheck with 7 ways to get paid. They got the worldwide platinum pool and the worldwide gold pool and silver pool and all these different ways to get paid. And you would never know if your paycheck was right. You would never be able to figure it out. And I personally did not like that, because in my mind, I always wanted to be able to say to myself, okay, here I am, a little distributor, and I'm going to try to figure out how I can get $2,500 a month coming in, or $4,000 a month coming in, and get out of the rat race. And so my whole thing was always to just keep it simple, make the commissions huge. I started a company back in, by the way, I know a lot of you don't know this, but I started a company back in 2007, and it paid $5 a level. But it was a bit too wide. It was a 4x6 matrix. It was about $40 a month, and with tax and everything, it was about $46.50 a month. And it paid $5 a level, which was huge. It was great. But it went too wide. The matrix was too wide. It went 4, 16, 64, and then all of a sudden you didn't have that teamwork, and I made a big mistake there. And so anyway, but yeah, that's and I ended up as fate would have it. I remember, I'll tell you a little background story. I went to BYU college, and I was in the Students of the Constitution, and I saw the political science professor one day walking across campus, and I stopped him and I talked to him briefly. We were out in front of the library, and I was talking to him, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I remember I said something, and he said to me, "Well, if that's what you're meant to do, you'll fall into it." That's what he told me. He said, "If that's what you're meant to do, you'll fall into it." And then, as I guess fate would have it, in the year 2000, I got a job at a major MLM company, and which lasted 2 years. I won't name the company. I guess I don't know if there's any legal ramifications, but I got a job at a major MLM company. I worked in the marketing department. I made them over $1 million in net profit. I did fairly well there, but then the company started to have trouble. They started shrinking, and they let 40 of us go all at the same time. And I was one of them. Then I got another job for another small MLM, and I worked for them for a little over a year. And I really enjoyed talking to the distributors and strategizing an advertising campaign or avenue. And I really enjoyed that, which led to me starting a company in 2007, which lasted about 15 months only. And then I got into day trading for about 3 years after that whole thing, which ultimately led me back to starting Wealth Step by Step, which took me about 3 or 4 years to start it. I just kind of worked on it in my spare time and just kept working at it. And eventually I got it launched on February 19, 2021. And so I sort of fell into the network marketing world by working at that huge company and then being fairly successful there. And, I just and I always wanted to help people. So the idea behind Wealth Step by Step is just to try to pay the biggest commissions as possible, keep the price low, the commissions high, and offer a great deal. I've had a lot of people call me up and say I'm only making like 25 cents a person or 50 cents a person or $1 a person. And so they really like Wealth Step by Step. And we got a great product that's actually competitively priced in the real world, which is the autoresponder. They really do cost about $28 a month. If you go out and try to get one, it's going to cost you about that much. Plus you get the customizable lead capture page. And Bob and I actually had a conversation recently where we're thinking about adding a second customizable lead capture page. So then you'd have the opportunity to have 2 different campaigns going at the same time. And, we're always thinking up ways to try to improve Wealth Step by Step. And, that's about it for now, Bob. That's a little introduction, and, yeah.
So that I'm telling you, Adam, I so much appreciate you and your down-to-earth approach. And most owners sort of hide. You don't know who the owner is, and I'm so glad to be associated with you. And we look forward to sponsoring hundreds and hundreds into your company. My team is so excited they could spit bullets.